Hey guys, this is Steve Huff at SteveHuffPhoto.com. I am here in Bermuda with Olympus for a very cool camera launch. Today we have the announcement of the E-M5 Mark II, the OMD E-M5 Mark II, that is. This is the brand new camera from Olympus, and it's not just a little refresh update. They've actually packed quite a bit of technology into this camera. They redesigned the top panel a little bit, so you have a nicer control layout. It just looks nicer as well. And this is it in the silver, and I have attached the 12-40 f2.8 Pro zoom. So it might look a little large compared to the body, but in reality, it is small for a 12-40 f2.8 lens. So that's one of the benefits of the Micro Four Thirds system, as many of you know. Today we just received the camera, so I haven't had much time with it, but we were able to shoot some with it, and so far so good. And you know, when I think of Olympus, I think of certain things. I think of innovation, because it seems like with every camera release, they put something innovative in it. Going back to, I think it was called the E330, I think they were the first to have the swivel LCD. And then you had the 5-axis image stabilization in the original E-M5. You had the lifetime capture, so you can do night exposures while previewing your images live without having to rely on how much, knowing how much time you needed for the night exposure. So they innovate, and they've innovated more with this by including a brand new feature which is called high-res shot, or high-res shooting. It basically gives you a 40 megapixel file out of the 16 megapixel sensor inside of the E-M5. You do need to have a tripod to use this feature, but what Olympus is saying, now I have not experienced it yet, but Olympus is saying you will get equal to, if not better, detail than a full-frame sensor camera. So that's pretty innovative, that's pretty cool. So there we go again, Olympus is innovating yet again in the E-M5 Mark II. When I think of Olympus, I think of tough. They have weather-sealed cameras, so you can take this out in the rain and snow, the lens and the body, and you don't have to worry about your camera getting destroyed from water splashing on it or even ice freezing it. They're shockproof, freeze-proof, rainproof. I think of steady, because Olympus innovated with the 5-axis image stabilization originally, and they made it even better in the E-M5 Mark II. They've improved the performance, and as of today, in February 2015, the E-M5 Mark II has the best performing 5-axis image stabilization in the Olympus lineup, and it also beats the Sony a7 II. When I think of Olympus and Micro Four Thirds, I think of small and compact. And now it's not a point and shoot, it's not going to fit in your pocket, but it is going to be quite a bit smaller than any DSLR. It's going to be quite a bit smaller than APS-C cameras, and even full-frame mirrorless like the A7 series from Sony, it's smaller than that as well. But you're getting some of the best lenses in the mirrorless world from Olympus as well. So that's really cool. When I think of Olympus, I think of speed. Their mirrorless cameras seem to be about the fastest autofocusing cameras that there are. It beats out the Sonys, it beats out the Fujis. So after all of this, technology packed into the new E-M5 Mark II, I asked Olympus, well, why would someone buy the E-M1? And basically their reply was, well, the E-M1 has a beefier body, it's like a more professional body, and it's a little faster in continuous focus. So a lot of people these days, when they're choosing a new camera, they might opt for the E-M5 Mark II. What else does it have? It also has a new silent shutter mode, which will allow you to shoot at 1/16,000th of a second and 11 frames per second. If you shoot with the regular shutter, you can shoot 10 frames per second. So they bumped that up dramatically from the E-M5. The Mark II will not come with a lens. There's no kit lens with it. It'll be $1,099, which is a great deal for what you're getting. The 5-axis alone, when I was shooting video with this 12-40, was quite amazing. Very silky smooth, there's no jitter, there's no shakes. Even when shooting with the 40-150 Pro Zoom, there was no jitter and no shakes. It was really seriously like I had the camera attached to some kind of steady shot rig. So the 5-axis is actually pretty amazing. They've improved the lag time from the E-M5. You're getting a 45% less lag time than the Mark I. So your camera experience is going to be pretty snappy. They're claiming it's the fastest in the industry. You also have live composite mode, which is another new night shooting long exposure mode, which is really pretty amazing. No other camera company is doing it. Olympus also will be giving a flash with this camera built into the box, I should say, comes in the box. And it not only swivels left and right, but it swivels up and down, so you can use it as a bounce. It was actually a nice little feeling flash. They'll have 2 grips available, one a battery grip, one just an attachment to give you some extra finger grippage. There's also a dot, like a laser sight, not really a laser, but it's a EVF, or not EVF, a viewfinder that goes up top, and it has a red dot. And they're claiming that if you're doing something like tracking focus, birds, what have you, you can just look through that red dot sight, and you don't even have to look through the EVF or the LCD. The LCD of the E-M5, it's quite a bit different than the Mark I should say the Mark II. As you can see, you could totally black it out if you don't want to use the LCD, and it kind of looks nice and clean. But if you want to use the LCD this time, it swivels out, goes to the left, which is cool for shooting. You no longer have to pull it up from the bottom, and so you can swivel it any which way you like this way. So this is really cool when you're shooting video or what have you. It works really well. The EVF is large, just like the previous E-M5 or the E-M1, and again, you have the nice controls up top. So this is just basically my very first look at the camera. This is not my review. I will have a full written review with tons of image samples in about 2 to 3 weeks, and I will also do a more detailed video review going over more features, the new features of the camera. So for now, take a look at stevehuffphoto.com. You will see the first look images that I took, and as well as my first look thoughts. So check back to stevehuffphoto.com every day for reviews, news, daily inspirations, guest articles, and all kinds of photographic fun. This is Steve in Bermuda with Olympus. Check out the E-M5 Mark II. Pre-order links are at the website as well as the description of the video. Bye. Okay, this is Steve Huff testing out the 5-axis, the new improved 5-axis on the E-M5 Mark II here in Bermuda, excuse me. And the image stabilization here is quite amazing. This is the best 5-axis I have seen to date, and that counts the E-M1, the E-M5 Mark I, and the Sony A7 II. Olympus has said this is an improvement of the 5-axis of the previous cameras. And you can tell, especially when shooting video, at what you're getting. So it's pretty awesome.
Don't forget to get your moves too. So. Oh wow, he came back like